Hey, how's it going guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the Dell Inspiron desktop PC Model 3020. Thank you to Best Buy for sending me this PC for free to review. You'll receive the PC tower, 6-foot power cable, USB optical mouse, USB keyboard, and a quick start manual. The tower measures 6 inches wide, 11 1/4 inches deep, and 12 3/4 inches tall. The front of this machine has a grayish blue color called mist blue and a ridged texture. From top to bottom, there's a DVD+RW drive, power button, SD card slot, combo mic headphone jack, 2 USB-A 2.0 ports, 1 USB-A 3.2 port, and a USB-C 3.2 port. On the back, in the upper left-hand corner, is the speaker out jack, HDMI and DisplayPort outputs for the monitor, which can be used simultaneously for dual monitor support. Then below that, you have 2 additional USB-A 3.2 ports, 2 USB-A 2.0 ports, and the RJ45 Ethernet jack for a wired network connection. The PC also supports Wi-Fi-AX, also known as Wi-Fi 6, and Bluetooth 5.2 as well. I recommend connecting the USB keyboard and mouse to the slower USB ports on the back, and reserving the SuperSpeed ports, which are blue, for devices that would benefit from the faster speed, like external hard drives. I do like that this system has a USB-C port on the front, since this connection type is becoming more commonplace on newer devices. While there are 4 slots in the back of the case for additional cards, there are only 2 PCIe expansion slots inside, which we'll take a look at in a bit. At the bottom is the input for the power cable. To open the tower for upgrading the components, you'll need to remove these 2 knurled thumb screws. They are designed to be removable without tools, but if you find that they are too tight, you can use a Phillips screwdriver to loosen them. You don't have to fully remove them from the panel. This tab lets you add a lock on the case to prevent internal access, and there's also a Kensington lock slot for additional security. To open, pull on the handle below the top screw. Then lift the panel out and away from the tower. Remove the fan shroud by squeezing both blue tabs on the top and bottom, then pull it out and away from the components. Here we have your basic Foxconn 80mm CPU fan. Just below that is the M.2 SSD, which is a micro 2400, 512GB capacity, 2280 form factor, PCIe Gen 3 X4 drive. There's also an open PCIe X1 slot for port expansion and a PCIe X16 slot for a graphics card. My build came with 8GB of 3200MHz DDR4 RAM pre-installed, though there's a second slot available for adding additional memory up to 64GB total max. There are also several SATA power and data connectors available, and room for a 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch HDD at the front. Just be sure any additional components you add will stay within the 180-watt maximum for the power supply. To reinstall the fan shroud, place it over the CPU fan and press it in firmly. Then replace the side panel by setting it in about an inch away from the front and sliding it forward, before tightening the thumb screws at the back. When you power the machine on for the first time, you'll need to complete a brief setup for Windows 11, which takes about 15 minutes. Once that's done, you can start using the computer. The hard drive has about 450GB free, with 50GB used for the OS and pre-installed programs like McAfee LiveSafe and Office 365. The hardware specs are mid-tier and neither exceptional nor minimalist. The machine runs on an Intel 13th Gen Core i5-13400 CPU with 10 cores, 16 threads, and 2.5 GHz base clock with a 4.6 GHz boosted max. The 8GB of pre-installed RAM is a single 3200 MHz DDR4 stick, and it's enough for quick and responsive casual use. Out of the box, this PC is efficient at running multiple applications simultaneously for everyday computing tasks, and boot up is quick. There was no significant lag or delays experienced with common everyday usage. The tower is very quiet when operating and doesn't produce a lot of heat, though you need to keep the vents on the back and left side clear for proper airflow. I was surprised that the tower had a DVD drive, as most software can be downloaded digitally nowadays. But if you happen to have software CDs, movie DVDs, or just like backing up to physical media, I suppose it's nice to have. It's a pretty basic one though, with a motorless pop-out tray that you have to push back in, like one you'd see in a laptop. The USB mouse and keyboard are also really basic, but work just fine. The full keyboard is thin and lightweight with fairly quiet keys. The optical mouse is also lightweight, but feels plasticky. However, it does have a clickable scroll wheel. Overall, this PC isn't a bad option for an entry-level tower PC. It has a small footprint, decent processing power and speed, and just enough spec-wise to handle everyday computing tasks, so would be suitable for most home office or personal uses. You could probably play some casual games on it too, or use it for media consumption, if you're not looking for maxed out visuals or top-of-the-line performance. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and join me next time.